What's going on, everybody? King Tar Heel here, and we're back. We're going to do a couple more builds. The most requested build I've got is a straight stealth build, so I'm going to do a stealth build and another combo build. So let's get to it. Alright, this is a straight stealth build, so we have all our points in the finesse tree here. We have 2 points in precise weaponry on the first row. We have 6 points in Dagger Mastery, 5 points in Shadow Flare, and then 6 points in Assassin Art. These are all generally dagger talents and stealth, well, except for Shadow Flare. We'll get into that in a bit. Then we have 2 points in Precise Weaponry 2, all points in Poisons, 3 points in Frost Trap. On the next tier, we have 5 points in Lunge. And then on the fourth tier, we have 3 points in Blade Honing, 2 points in Enduring Agony, and 2 points in Smoke Bomb. These can be moved a little bit based on your preference. Certainly, the Frost Trap can be moved to bow if you wanted to have ranged. But that's really the only point there. And you can move these a little bit, but these are the 3 skills that I prefer. Since we have all our points in Finesse, really the only choice for our Destiny is the Hunter choice, which does increase our chance to crit by 5% and our piercing damage by 10%. And we also get a damage resistance while dodging. All very good things. The Smoke Bomb is a essential part of the stealth build. It's great in opportunities like this where you have 2 enemies that are facing you and you don't have an opportunity to get behind them. We can drop the Smoke Bomb here and simply go and run behind these 2 enemies and get our kill on. So it's a great move like that. It can also be used in combat, so it works in a lot of different ways. And see, we're able to take out both those enemies with no problem. So here are a lot of different spells. You get the Frost Trap you can do. You get the Charge spell that you get, which does multiple attacks to your enemies, like that. So you're able to just continually to hit them. Your spell, Shadow Flare, I think is the name of it. And then you get your Bleeding spell, which does a lot of damage as well. So there's a lot of different spells you can use with this build. Again, the main purpose is you can do just so many one-shot kills as a finesse if you're able to get behind your opponents, which makes it a really good stealth build. The other spell we have is Lunge, which has an incredibly high mana cost, but can be a lifesaver in certain situations. The ability to get behind your opponent and do massive amounts of damage like that can be a lifesaver, especially when in a corner or something like that. And lastly, you always want to keep your Blade Honing activated. That's the orange glowing that I have on my hands. One, it looks really cool, and also it gives, I think, at the level we have it at right now, it's a 20% crit damage bonus, which is always helpful. So that's it for the stealth build. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next up is our first balanced build that we've done. This is an equal amount of points in all classes. So first one, this is a build that is going to have a lot of things on your toolbar. It's going to, for offensive-based players, it's going to have a lot of different options. I would recommend doing Alchemy with this build for pots, because we're going to be using a lot of different mana abilities. So first off is Might. We're going to have 4 points in Harpoon, 5 points in Quake, and then 2 points in our weapon skills, Brutal Weaponry 1 and Brutal Weaponry 2. Next up is Finesse. We're going to have 5 points in Shadow Flare, 5 points in Envenomed Edge, and 4 points in Frost Trap. And next up is Sorcery. We're going to have our 5 points in Stormbolt, 5 points in Conservative Casting, and 4 points in Mark of Flame. This is, again, a very balanced build that's going to give us a lot of different options on the toolbar. You can move some of these points around. I would probably move Harpoon over to Skillful Defense, in my personal opinion, because I don't use Harpoon all that often. But I know a lot of people want to have a lot of different options on their toolbar. That's a really fun way to play, so I definitely understand that. So this is a skill build, and our Destiny we're going to choose is the Adventurer. This Adventurer is a really cool Destiny. Gives us 13% melee attack damage, 13% ranged attack damage, 13% magic attack damage. Equipment requirements reduced by 25%, +1 to all skills, and 5% total damage resistance. So it's a great all-around Destiny. You need 10 points at least in each skill. Now, one of the benefits or issues with this spec is the ability to wear all different types of armor. You essentially don't have any restrictions, especially with the item reduced enhancement we have for the Destiny. So you're able to wear anything. So essentially, I wear whatever armor I have that is the best in that. That is the best. I generally try to focus on mana regen, but if I get a purple finesse-based armor, that's so much better than my mana regen one, I'll switch and try to get it somewhere else. That's one of the benefits. It's also one of the cons. You don't get any set bonuses because you're mix and matching your armor constantly. But again, we have a lot of abilities. We have 7 abilities on our bar here. So I try to focus on mana regen, especially with my rings and my neck, because you need mana to use most of these spells. Now, I chose Greatsword because I like its charge move the most. It's a great AoE charge when you're fighting those hordes of enemies. And also, you need a blade because we have the poisons applied. So the hammer doesn't help with that, even though I have a really good hammer. But it's really up to personal preference. A lot of the other options we have here, we have the Harpoon, which can close in on enemies. We have the Quake, which is a great cone AoE spell. We have Shadow Flare, which, again, another cone AoE spell. And we're out of mana. So again, Alchemy, as I said earlier, is probably the best spell, the best skill, excuse me, as we're able to pop a lot of pots. We have our Thunderbolt, another range spell. We have our Frost Trap, which will allow us to lay traps, freeze, and we can freeze a bunch of enemies coming our way, and then we can Shadow Flare, or we can Quake. And then we also have our AoE Mark of Flame. So there's a lot of cone AoE here, a lot of heavy mana spells, which is why I focus on mana regen in my equipment. But again, it's a very fun build. You have a lot of different options to try anything. If you're dying a lot, again, switch up your armor, go defensive, and that's pretty much it. It's a great balanced build. That's the name of it. And allows you to have a lot of different options in combat. So that's it for these builds, guys. I hope you enjoyed the builds. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I can keep playing around with them, and I'll keep posting new builds. Check out my crafting guide as well. I'll leave the link there. And that's it, guys. Take care. Bye.